Pyramid of Cheops. The Pyramid of Cheops, also known as the Great Pyramid of Giza, is one of the most impressive architectural monuments of ancient Egypt. It was built around 2600 BC and is the tomb for Pharaoh Cheops. The construction of the pyramid began during the lifetime of Cheops and lasted about 20 years until his death. The architect of the pyramid is considered to be Hemion. The construction was organized using thousands of workers and many masons. The pyramid was built from stone blocks that were forged and transported to the construction site. There are many theories about how these blocks were delivered to the construction site, but the exact methods remain a matter of debate. The pyramid served as a tomb for Pharaoh Cheops and his family. Inside the pyramid, there are 3 burial chambers and a whole network of descending and ascending corridors. The pyramid has a base 230 meters long and 138 meters high. Originally, it was 146.60 meters, but over time it decreased due to destruction. The angle of inclination of the walls is approximately 51 degrees. The pyramid is the only one of these 7 wonders of the world that have survived to this day. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon are one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, which was an engineering structure in Babylon with a cascade of multi-level gardens where numerous species of trees, shrubs, and vines grew. They were created by the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II for his wife, the Median princess Amitis. The construction of the Hanging Gardens began during the lifetime of Nebuchadnezzar II and lasted about 20 years. The author of the project was Nebuchadnezzar II. The gardens were built on huge terraces supported by massive walls. They used a system of canals to supply water, which was raised to a height using hydraulic machines. The Hanging Gardens were created as a sign of the king's love for his wife and as a symbol of her native mountainous country of Media. The Hanging Gardens were a unique structure that used the principles of hydraulic engineering and architecture to create an oasis in the heart of Babylon. They were a cascade of multi-level gardens where different types of plants grew, giving the impression of a large green mountain. There are many theories about how this height was achieved, but the exact methods remain a matter of debate. Statue of Zeus in Olympia. The statue of Zeus at Olympia is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and the 3rd wonder of the world. It was created in the 5th century BC, and was made of gold, wood, and ivory, using the chrysoelephantine technique. Construction of the statue began after the completion of the marble temple of Zeus, which was erected between 466 and 456. Phidias created the statue in a specially constructed workshop, the dimensions of which corresponded to the size of the temple. The statue was made of ivory, gold, and wood, and was a colossal work of art. The statue of Zeus was created as the main part of the Temple of Zeus in Olympia, which served as the site of the Olympic Games. The statue of Zeus was about 12 meters high and represented a thunderer sitting on a throne holding a lightning bolt and a shield in his hands. It was one of the most majestic works of ancient art and left a deep impression on everyone who saw it. The Temple of Artemis in Ephesus is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world and was dedicated to the local cult of the goddess Artemis, corresponding to the Roman goddess Diana. It was located in the Greek city of Ephesus on the coast of Asia Minor, now near the city of Selçuk in the south of the province of Izmir, Turkey. The first temple in honor of the goddess of hunting Artemis was built in the middle of the 6th century BC. Then around 550 BC, reconstruction began, and in fact, the construction of a new, much larger temple, which was led by the famous architect Chersiphron, together with his son Metagenes. The construction of this temple lasted about 2 centuries and was completed around 380 BC Demetrius and Paeonius. The author of the project was the famous architect Chersiphron. The temple was built on a stepped foundation, which allowed it to rise to the clouds, as described by Antipater of Sidon. It was made of ivory, wood, and gold, using the chrysoelephantine technique. The temple was built as a place of worship for the goddess Artemis and symbolized her power over the universe and her role as the patroness of sports and peaceful competitions. The statue of Artemis was about 10 meters high and represented the goddess of hunting, fertility, and female chastity. It was one of the most majestic works of ancient art and left a deep impression on everyone who saw it. The Mausoleum of Mausoleus, also known as the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, was one of the seven wonders of the ancient world and was built in honor of the Carian satrap Mausolus. It was located in the city of Halicarnassus, which is now part of Bodrum in Turkey. The construction of the mausoleum began around 353 BC and was completed in 350 BC by the architects Satyros and Pytheas of Priene. The mausoleum was built by order of Mausoleus's wife, Artemisia III, after his death. The mausoleum was made of ivory, wood, and gold, using the chrysoelephantine technique. It was of enormous size and decorated with rich sculptures and reliefs. The mausoleum was built as a tomb for Mausolus and his wife, Artemisia III. The mausoleum was about 45 meters high and had the shape of a pyramid with a wide base. It was one of the most majestic works of ancient architecture and left a deep impression on everyone who saw it. The statue of the Colossus of Rhodes. The statue of the Colossus of Rhodes was one of the seven wonders of the ancient world and was dedicated to the sun god Helios. It stood in the port city of Rhodes on the island of the same name in the Aegean Sea, Greece. The construction of the statue began around 304 BC and was completed in 280 BC by the architects Charis and Pytheas of Priene. The statue was commissioned from the sculptor Charis, a student of Lysippus. The mausoleum was made of clay, bronze, and iron, using the chrysoelephantine technique. It was built as a monument in honor of the heroic siege of the Rhodians. The inhabitants of the city decided to erect a statue of the sun god Helios, whom they revered, to thank him for his intercession. The Lighthouse of Alexandria. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, also known as the Lighthouse of Pharos, was one of the seven wonders of the ancient world and was built during the reign of Ptolemy II Philadelphus. It was located on the island of Pharos, near the Egyptian city of Alexandria. The lighthouse was built around 279 BC and was one of the tallest man-made structures in the world for many centuries. The architect of the lighthouse was Sostratus of Cnidus. The lighthouse was made of stone and concrete, and its base was reinforced with stone blocks. It was about 120–150 meters high and was equipped with a system of signal lights for the orientation of ships. The main purpose of the lighthouse was to ensure the safe navigation of ships in the port of Alexandria, which was of great strategic importance. It was one of the most majestic works of architecture and left a deep impression on everyone who saw it.